Oh, hey there, everyone. Welcome back to the Canadian Game Master, and today we're going to be talking about them sneaky underdwellers, Drow. With our topic on Drow, it's a much more complex and engaged in in-depth race than kobolds. There's a lot more to it, there's a lot more to cover, so I hope you're okay with sticking with me through this. Now let's talk about Drow. They are the predominant Underdark race. They spread the span of the Underdark. They're a matriarchal society. They are very heavily religious based, not out of fervent belief, but out of fear of what happens if they do not. They are a house-based culture, and they are extremely intelligent. Now let's talk about the strengths of the Drow. They're stealthy, they're deceptive, they're masters of subterfuge, and they are intelligent. Very intelligent. They like to use very advanced tactics, and their main primary fear, in this existence at least, is the failure of their patron or their matron. They're worried both of being punished by Lolth for failing to adhere to her strictures, and their entire life is based on building up the strength of their own house, which is led by their matron. Their society is very complex, and it has a lot of internal politics going on. Their weaknesses? They have very few weaknesses. They're arrogant, they're very smart, and they know that they are very smart. And they're also physically average. That's really about it. There is not many downsides to being a Drow, and there's not many weaknesses for you to exploit other than the potential arrogance. The behaviors of the Drow are very unique. They are extremely class-based society where the lower rung have almost no value at all. They're willing to be sacrificed, tossed, discarded on a whim. There are some creatures, Driders, which I'll cover in another video. They're a little lower than even the slaves of a Drow society, but a large aspect of their behavior will in fact be to capture rather than kill. They would rather have a slave than another dead individual. That perhaps could be another weakness back in the other category, but what they are doing is to build up their own station. So you can exploit that to maybe survive an encounter. The tactics of the Drow are heavily based in stealth. They'll come at you from the side. They are always aware of what you are doing. There should never be a time in a Drow's pursuit or observation of a party that they are ever really unaware of them, whether they're doing so by magical means or having an operative in a nearby area to keep tabs on your party. They may not directly attack, they may not directly even interact with you, but they should be aware that you are there. They will not be caught off guard unless the entire time that you are on your way to said destination, which is inhabited by Drow, that you're extremely stealthy the entire time. It's hard to surprise a Drow. On the rare cases that you do get involved with a direct combat with the Drow, they know everything. They know who your casters are, they know who the fighters are, who the stealthies are. They have been watching you already for an extended period of time, and they're going to wait until the time is right to actually attack you. After a big boss encounter, several smaller encounters with random Underdark denizens, they will make sure that they have the advantage before a combat begins with the players. Now, if a fight is actually to begin with the Drow, they will do so from a place of strength and from a place of stealth. Now, in the monster manual, each category of Drow has their own specific poisons and their own specific abilities. The poisons, in my mind at least, are completely interchangeable depending on the purpose of what the Drow are attempting to achieve. If they are trying to capture your party, the majority of their poisons are going to be the ones that knock you unconscious, render you vulnerable to them being able to take you. If the intent is to kill, they all use damaging poisons in order to inflict as much damage as possible as quickly as possible because they don't want a prolonged engagement. During the midst of a fight, they will attempt to control the battle. Whether that means targeting a single individual, taking out the perceivably physically weakest one, surrounding the big powerful ones so they can get the advantage on their attacks, and managing to take it down piecemeal by piecemeal. In these encounters, it's not stated in the book, so this is me adding into the Drow. I like to add a couple of side abilities to the Drow just to accentuate their purpose and their abilities in this dark area. I like to give them some form of sneak attack, whether it's 1d6 or 2d6, depending on the CR of the creature. And I like to give them a disengage. It lets them get in and out for hit and run tactics because they don't want to stay there. They don't want to get hit back. They want to inflict as much damage as possible and jet. Be sure to utilize all of their abilities in battle. The mages have a long spell list and they can change depending on your scenario which ones that you would like to prioritize. And if you're feeling spicy, you can change the spells themselves. Of course you can. You're the DM. Whatever you want to do goes. What I would say is know your party. Know what your Drow need in order to make a challenging and rewarding encounter for your players. The priestesses will have different abilities. The elite, they have a simple ability called parry, which adds +3 to their AC from a single attack. Make sure you are utilizing these things in order to keep an advantage. Also make sure to focus on your skill proficiencies. Every Drow is proficient in stealth and perception. They're good at looking and they're good at hiding. Others are good at insight. Others are good at deception. Make sure that these skills are also utilized. Should it not be a combat encounter, it could very well end up being a social one. As a last note though, do not be shy to give them some form of magical items. It's well known in Drow lore that they like to create and carry their own magical items, which either in the hands of somebody who is not a Drow or in the presence of direct sunlight loses the effect, so it cannot be transferred to your party. Maybe a +1 sword or a +1 piece of armor, or give them some potions. Drows are renowned alchemists. They like to use their poisons. They like to make sure that they have the equipment they need for every situation that they get into. Now, outside of combat, there are a lot of different things that can happen. Drow are not stupid. They're evil. They're not stupid. They may not just kill you outright. They may not even want to enslave you outright. There are rare circumstances, as Drow society is house-based, they compete with each other. And it's kind of a taboo for them to attack each other outright. So, using an adventuring party to gain leverage or an upper hand on another house is absolutely possible in an RP situation. Look at your players, look at what they're getting into, and make that decision for yourself. Are these Drow, in fact, not looking for captives or slaves? They're looking for a weapon. They can kill the party afterwards, sure, but absolutely in the meantime, happily use them to ruin another house's plans or objectives, or destroy some storage, anything along those lines, just to gain a little bit of leverage. And in the end, of course, please remember, this is my mentality on this. This isn't stricture, this is not law. As you play the game, and if you are enjoying it, you are doing it right. There is nothing wrong with doing the opposite of what I've said, different from what I've said, or doing the exact same. As long as you and your players are having fun, you're on the right path. Now, this is a very short video for a very complex race, so I know there's going to be stuff that's going to be glossed over in this. But what I would really like you to do is give me some thoughts. What would you change? What would you keep? And what I would really like is some more suggestions for what's the next creature that we should cover in the next episode. I hope I did this one enough justice for you all to be at least a little more prepared and a little more understanding of the situations that Drow can put your party members into. This is the Canadian Game Master here, and I guess I'm going to be signing off for today. Be sure to say goodbye to my friend Moose the Beaver, and I'll happily see you in the next episode. Bye bye now.